by Shadow, Bunny, Dragon. Sunlight drifted through the window with the warm glow of morning revealing the forms of Dawn and Vernon, snuggled up together in their large, circular bed.
"Mornin', honey lamb,"
the large wolf rumbled, knowing his mate was already awake. Good morning, puppy, Dawn said with a yawn, giving her mate a tired smile just before she found herself pulled into a loving embrace.
"You had the dream again, didn't you?
Vernon asked.
The one where your father and Doug tried to pup nap Lily?"
Dawn sighed and nodded. Sorta. Only this time, there was what I think were adult humans, or at least what my mind assumes adults of their species looks like. And they're going to take her back, Dawn said with a frown. She felt Vernon resting his chin on her head floof.
"You know, that ain't ever gonna happen. Right, Dawn?"
Maybe. But that does little to stop me from worrying. And not just about Lily. Trevor and Alice, too.
"I know what you mean, Floofs,"
Vernon said, his chin resting on his mate's head.
"According to Mama, worrying about your pups is just part of the job of being a parent."
Dawn nodded at that. Still, she said, before she noticed that the door to their room was starting to open. She could hear some faint giggles and smiled, her worries flying back to the dark corner of the U's mind, as her curiosity and joy about her children's antics took firm hold. I think we have us some visitors, she said, loud enough to be heard. Vernon also looked on in curiosity, his tail already starting to thump the bed as the door fully opened, revealing Alice walking in, carrying a tray of food. Her younger brother and sister trailed close behind her. All three were still in their PJs, with Lily carrying Princess Calibri in her arms. Happy birthday, Alice said, her tail wagging behind her. It took Dawn just a second to remember that it was indeed her birthday, and her heart melted at the sight of her lambs bringing her breakfast in bed. She sat up straighter as Alice set the tray across her lap. Oh my goodness, this is such a wonderful surprise. And what do we have here? Is this a fruit salad? Dawn asked, noticing her eldest looking away and shuffling her feet. Am I correct in my assumption that you made me the salad, Allie? She asked. The black wolf pup nodded, shuffling her feet some more. Dawn leaned over and gave her a kiss on her forehead. Thank you, sweetie. It looks so good. Dawn emphasized this by taking a few bites. She then looked at the glass of juice next to it, as well as a plate of what appeared to be toast, with pink frosting and heart-shaped sprinkles. And what else do we have here? I made you some space juice, Mommy, Trevor declared proudly, the little black lamb puffing out his chest as he said so. Dawn cooed and thanked him, taking a sip, and was rewarded with a sweet yet odd flavor. What makes this space juice, honey? She asked. It's half grape juice and half tang, like what astronauts drink in space, he said excitedly. Vernon chuckled and reached over to ruffle his head floof. I wanted to put meteor puffs in the space juice, but Alice said cereal can't go in juice, Trevor said with a slight huff.
Well, your sister's right. Still, I bet it turned out nice and spacey," Vernon offered.
And I made you some princess toast, Mommy, Lily said with a bounce. The lizard in her arms let out a chirp as if to emphasize this. Oh, princess toast? Well, it looks so good. What's in it, sweetie? Dawn asked, reaching for a slice and pecking it up in her hooves. Well, it's toast with butter, some pink frosting, some sprinkles, Lily explained as Dawn took a big bite and started chewing, only to stop, her eyes going wide, at and lots of glitter. Dawn chewed it a couple more times before managing to swallow, scratchy plastic and all. So, you did, she said, setting the toast down on the plate and looking into the excited and expectant eyes of her youngest daughter. It's delicious, sweetie, and um, thank you. Um, thank you all so very much, Dawn said, leaning over to plant a kiss on Lily and Trevor's foreheads before pulling all three into a hug. Dawn could hear Vernon snickering and rolled her eyes. I can make you some more, Mommy. I can make some for everyone to have, Lily offered, petting Princess Calibri.
Maybe you'd like some help there, Sweet Pea?"
Vernon asked, sitting up and climbing out of bed. Lily's eyes lit up even more. Yay! She cheered, heading for the door. Vernon headed out to follow her, turning to give Dawn a wink, with Trevor following behind. Alice stood there, feeling a little awkward. I tried to catch everything, but the glitter I must have missed. Sorry, Alice said, surprised to find the gentle hoof resting on her shoulder. She looked up into Dawn's smiling face. You are a good daughter, Dawn said simply, prompting a sudden hug from Alice. Dawn was surprised, but quick to reciprocate, excited at the headway made in connecting to the anxious pup. Down in the kitchen, Vernon was supervising the next batches of princess toast. When Lily wasn't looking, he had dumped the rest of the glitter down the kitchen sink.
"Aw, shoot, Sugar Plum, we're all out,"
he said, smiling at his youngest apologetically. "Aw," Lily said before looking excited once again. Oh, I think I saw some glitter glue in Trevor's room, she said as she was stirring the canister pink frosting. Vernon quickly motioned for Trevor to come to him, and, while Lily was preoccupied with the frosting, he leaned down to whisper,
"Son, I'll give you $5 right now if you make sure that glitter glue disappears."
Why, Daddy? He asks, making sure to be as quiet as his father.
"Just trust me, and teach the tales, don't tell Lily. Just say you were out of it, or no fiver."
Trevor salutes before running off. Where'd Trevor go? Lily asked as she noticed him running out of the kitchen.
"Oh, he's off to look for that glitter glue,"
Vernon said, looking away and rubbing the back of his neck. I hope he finds it. I don't want to ruin the princess toast for you and Mommy, Lily said. Vernon let out one of his rumbling chuckles and gently picked up Lily in his arms for a hug.
"Well, if we can't find any more, I'm sure that it'll turn out just fine, Sugar Plum,"
he said, kissing her head before setting her down. He noticed Princess Calibri at her bowl enjoying her freshly opened wet food out of the corner of his eye. He took note of how much bigger she had already gotten.
It's about time that we scheduled that lizard for an appointment with a vet.
He mentally filed this thought away for later, his smile becoming a bit more relaxed when he saw Trevor coming back, giving him a very obvious wink that, thankfully, Lily didn't see since her back was to him. Vernon ruffled his head floof, and the two helped Lily in making more of her princess toast. In the northern Meadowlands.
All right now, remember that y'all shouldn't go putting pressure on that leg of yours for a little while, just to be safe,
Zachary said to Marcus as he walked next to the human boy, who was on a pair of crutches, heading toward his and Vanna's cruiser. Vanna had pulled the car around to the front after they had signed Marcus out, slightly dazed. After getting some forms to fill out and handing them off to Zach's brother Xavier, they had officially become Marcus's foster parents. Just like that, and we have a kitten, Vanna thought, feeling equal parts excitement and worry. Okay, Vanna, she said mentally to herself as she saw Zach and Marcus approaching the car. Just relax and be conscious of how you act around him. Even if he's scared initially, you can show him that you're not that scary. Vanna looked at her reflection in the rearview mirror and frowned, once again feeling self-conscious of the imposing tigress staring back at her. Just then, the back door opened. Now, no need to rush, she heard her mate say to the boy as he took the crutches from him. Nice and slow. There you go. Zach was gentle and chipper as he carried the crutches to the trunk to load them in, having already loaded up the few possessions Marcus had to his name. There was the odd, deep blue cloak he had been wearing when he was found, with the copper buttons. It had a white faux fur lining, especially around the neck, several breast and hip pockets, and thick cuffs. It had the air to it of some sort of military jacket, but, so far, not any that anyone who'd seen it so far could recognize. Although it was Malcolm who had pointed out that the loop on the left hip was meant for a sword scabbard. Most likely something ceremonial. Audrey had happily, with Marcus's permission, along with the promise that she would bring it right back when done, washed it and sewn up the tears. While still a few sizes too large for him, Marcus seemed very attached to it. He had given them directions to his latest campsite, where they found a light tan briefcase with a few spare changes of clothes and a silver pocket watch. Vanna looked at the kitten in the rearview mirror. He was a mystery. No one knew where he had come from, and so far, he had said nothing about it either. Mystery or not, what Vanna saw as she watched him look around in curiosity at all the mammals walking or milling about was a scared child, feeling all alone and not far from being overwhelmed. Don't worry, honey, Vanna says as she turned to face him. We're actually pretty nervous about this arrangement as well. Really? Marcus asked in surprise as he looked down, afraid of making eye contact. Really, but we'll all learn how to go from here together. Okay? Okay, Mrs. Hunter. Please, just call us Zach and Vanna, she said. Her and Zach having already discussed and decided on not pressuring the boy into calling them Mom and Dad. They wanted that to come naturally when Marcus feels more comfortable.
Yes, Vanna,
the boy said, looking unsure. It was at that moment that Zach finished getting the crutches sorted and closed the trunk, jogging back to the passenger side door. All righty, all set, the wolf said, getting his wagging tail under control before settling himself in his seat and putting on his seat belt.
Attaboy, Zach said as they started to pull out. Vanna smirked at her playful mate in the rearview mirror as she focused more on driving. Most of the trip was in silence, with Zach and Vanna both sneaking glances at Marcus and how he stared at all the sights they passed in the more urban part of the district, before they soon found themselves in the more rural areas. Large fields of green, forests off in the distance, farms and farmhouses dotting the landscape. They even passed the Whitson's ostrich ranch, with Old Man Billy trotting the newest bird to their flock. The older beaver waved at the cruiser, smiling, as Marcus stared on, perplexed. "Ever seen an ostrich before?" Zach asked, startling Marcus out of his apparent daze. Uh, I've read about them, but where are their horns?" he asked. At first Zach thought he was kidding, but he looked and saw the look of serious confusion on Marcus's face. He shared a look with Vanna before addressing Marcus. Uh, I'm not sure what book y'all were reading, but I think that it may have been a little outdated or something." Marcus nodded but said nothing, and the rest of the car ride was in an awkward silence. It didn't take much longer for them to pull into the driveway of their house. Zach practically leapt out, his excitement having returned. Vanna popped the trunk for him as he gently grabbed the crutches and the briefcase. She got out, opening Marcus's door for him. "Here we are," she said, motioning to the two-story ranch-style house. "Home sweet home," Zach chimed in, passing Marcus his crutches. It, um, it looks very nice, sir," the human boy said. "Please, Marcus, just call me Zach," he said in a gentle reminder. When Marcus spotted Zach carrying his luggage, he offered to carry it himself. That idea was quickly dismissed, what with him being on crutches. "Now, we can go over a full tour of the house later. For now, we got a surprise for you," Zach said, his tail starting to speed up. The gray wolf with the auburn splashes seemed even more excited as he led the boy upstairs and down the hall, opening a door. Ta-da! Marcus hobbled along, making sure to keep the weight off his injured leg, not wanting to pop the stitches. He came to the open door and looked inside. Inside was a bed, a desk with a computer on it, some bookshelves with a few books on them, a dresser, and a bedside table. "I know that it's a bit sparse at the moment, but we weren't sure what you liked. So, when you're feeling better, we can go shopping for some things together. Now, how about y'all take it easy?" Zach offered. "And let me and Vanna know if there's anything you need. Okay, buddy?" Um, uh, yes, sir. Uh, Zach." At Marcus saying his name, Zach put a paw on his shoulder, noticing how Marcus flinched, but not commenting on it. "I'm serious. Anything at all, just let us know," and gave his shoulder a squeeze. Vanna looked on from the doorway as Zach set the luggage onto the bed before heading for the door. The mates made their way downstairs, about to discuss how best to help Marcus feel more comfortable, when they heard some shuffling and a loud thunk. "What was that?" Zach asked, immediately worried. "Probably just him setting down his luggage," Vanna offered, just before there was another thunk. "What if he fell?" Zach said, starting to head for the stairs. "Goofball, let's try to stay calm," Vanna said, also feeling concerned by the sounds coming from Marcus's room. After the third audible thunk, Zach decided to check in on Marcus. Hey, Marcus, Is everything okay in here? Zack asked as he opened the door, poking his head in. Marcus, who'd been scooting the desk over, stood up straight, his arms at his sides. He was holding a rag in his hand, his other arm holding on to a crutch. Just fine, sir. Just moving the desk over a little to clean behind it. I'll have this room finished soon enough, and be ready for the next one, Marcus said, looking worried. Zack stood there for a few moments, completely bewildered. Son, I don't think you're understanding how this works. This is your room. All we expected of you to do was get some rest. Now Marcus was the one to be bewildered. He stood there, not sure of what to say. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Zack let out a little sigh, but gave Marcus a warm smile as he entered the room properly. I ain't gonna pressure you into calling me Pa or nothing, but please, stop calling me sir. Um, yes, sir. Yes, Zack. Zack gave Marcus another smile, and then pushed the desk back to where it had been. He waited until Marcus took a seat on his bed before he gave him another smile. Are you hungry? If so, we can get started on making lunch, Zack offered. Marcus sat there, looking lost, before he tensed up and nodded. Alrighty. How about some burgers? I swear, I can make them as good as Bug Burger. As Zack then had to explain what Bug Burger was to a very confused Marcus, Vanna stood just outside the door, out of sight, smiling.
She was still very nervous about the prospect of being parents, but her excitement was also growing. Back in Savannah Central. Well, that was a pretty nice surprise our pups gave you this morning for your birthday, Vernon said as he stood next to Dawn at the kitchen sink, Dawn on her trusty stepladder. They had collected the dishes to wash while the children went about playing. I know. It was just so cute and sweet, Dawn gushed, reflecting on her first and only bite of the princess toast to include the glitter. Alice had taken the rest of it and discreetly gotten rid of it, the pair agreeing to pretend Dawn had eaten all of the toast when Lily, Vern, and Trevor returned. After Lily had apologized for running out of any more glitter to use on the toast, Dawn assured her youngest daughter that it was all right, and made a show of eating the newest batch of princess toast. You know, since Lily loves just about all things princess related, Dawn said, that maybe I've got an idea for her upcoming birthday party. Oh? Vernon asked. Remember, darling, that if we do something special for one of the pups' birthdays, we gotta do something equally special for all of their birthdays, Vernon chuckled. Absolutely, puppy. I was just thinking that now that I know what theme we could use for Lily's party is all. Just like we'll figure out what theme would make Trevor happy for his, and what theme would make Alice happy for hers. All right, Floofs, Vernon said, smiling, before hearing some giggling and turning his head in the direction of the living room. He and Dawn both turned in time to see Princess Calibri sitting on top of the Zuba as it moved about vacuuming. The children were following as the lizard chirped and hissed contentedly, seemingly enjoying the ride. Princess Calibri's riding in style, Alice said with a giggle. The black wolf pup's tail was wagging. She sure is, sweetheart, Vernon said in his rumbling voice. Alice blushed under her fur, but Vernon and Dawn could both see the smile at the corner of her muzzle. Well, guys, we did it! We made it to chapter 15. Back when I started this, I honestly didn't think that it'd keep going this far. I just really want to take the time to thank you guys for your kindness, your patience, your comments. It really means the world not only to me, but to the author of the story. I know that I take some time between uploads to really get you guys the next part of the story, but the reason I do that is I want to make sure that I am in the right headspace to be able to read these stories to the best of my ability. I'm just an amateur, but seeing you guys' love and support, it really helps with the confidence that I have to get these stories out. I am so grateful that Bun allowed me the chance to be able to read her stories like this. She is an amazing writer. She puts so much heart and love into her stories that to me, giving her anything less than the best that I can do, it would just be a disservice to both her and the story she's trusting me to read. I know you guys didn't come here to see me ramble on and on about the sappiness, but it really does mean a lot. Thank you for taking this journey with both of us. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Midnight Rambles, signing out. Oh, but not before I show you guys some of the bloopers of what exactly happens behind the scenes in these recordings. All right, it's chapter 15, baby. We're gonna record. We're gonna. Ow, 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 ow. Stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe. Ow, okay, ow, ow, ow. Whew. Oh, that is totally gotta go in the bloopers. Ah, why? Why did I put that there? Stupid, wait. They even passed by the Woodsons' Auspice Ranch. Uh, Auspice? Auspice? Hospice? What am I even trying to say here? Why do I. Ostrich. Come on. How. You can totally say it. It's the ostrich, the big birds, you know? They're like emus, but 10 times cooler. Well, maybe. I don't know. Oh god, I've probably offended somebody. I've offended every single emu stan out there in the world. I like emus. Emus are great. Just like that, and we have a kitten, Vanna thought, feeling equal parts. Apparently, I'm having trouble saying my E's today. Woo! Just like that, and we have a kitten, Vanna thought, feeling equal parts excitement and worry. Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Yes, yes, yes! Ha! Take that, you silly sentence. Take that, you silly sentence. I beat you, I defeated you. You're not gonna get in the way of this story. You guys are probably gonna be able to hear that in the recording. But you know what? It's fine. It's ambiance. The theatrics. The best recording that you all can get.
Does that fix whatever the frick is wrong with you? My computer is acting up and it's not recording the way that I want. It's just being a really big jerk and I don't know how to make it work. I'm a poet and I guess I didn't know it, but I guess I kinda do because I do poems too. Under the rainy light of the moon, and I'm just gonna try and plug this microphone if it'll just cooperate with me. There we go, there we go. Alright. I think we are back in business, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the story.
Good morning, honey lamb.